feet 4 inches, 67 pounds. And Bella told us she is such a great competitor, such a strong individual. Hey! And a dynamite score on 9.887 on the uneven bars.
A great score, particularly because it's her weakest event.
Now let's go back over to the men's side. Lance Ringnauld. He did so well in the preliminary competition, getting ready for his vault, Tim.
Well, Lance is certainly by no means out of this competition. He has such a strong last 3 events, and he'll show us something completely unique. This has never been done before in the United States. It's a vault the women are using. It's a Yurchenko with a full twist. Oh, and he does it beautifully. Excellent job for Lance.
How much of a deduction with a little hop at the end?
Well, considering the difficulty of the vault and considering that the men have not done this vault, the women have been doing it for some time, I don't think it'll be that substantial. Let's watch this now. He does a round off onto the board, a back flip with a full twist off. Incredible. The girls started doing this vault, and because they basically just jumped into it, I think it was allowed. The men had a little bit more time to think about it. The FIG, the governing body of gymnastics, designated this vault illegal because of it until recently in the past year. And so that's why you're seeing this vault in international competitions at this point from the men as well as the women.
And Lance Ringnauld not coming up with the score that he needed on the vault at 9.45. We move back to the women's division, the uneven bars.
This is Mari Kasugi of Japan, and she was one of the favorites last year at the American Cup. She and Kalinin both have the most difficult routines of the competition. Nice high Jaeger front. She didn't start off as well as I thought she would on the vault event, therefore she's down in the standings. I really think she can move up. Look at that, a nice high reverse hecht. And she does a full twisting double back as well, and an excellent landing.
Mari Kasugi was 6th coming into the competition in this event. 6th all around last year in the McDonald's American Cup.
I really think she can move up in the competition. She's done this dismount since last year, so really had time to perfect it.
Kasugi, the national champion last year in Japan, with an outstanding score of 9.862 on the uneven bars. That should move her up. And let's take a look at the standings now. First of all, in the women's competition after 2 events, Zmeskal and Woolsey on top from the United States. And Kasugi did move up slightly to the 5th position. Over to the men's side after 4 events. The American Kevin Davis really had his problems on the vault. Led after 3 all the way down to 5th, but Lance Ringnauld in solid position in 4th. Uneven bars, she still had an opportunity to qualify for one of the 8 spots in the final round. But the problems continued as she moved over to the floor exercise.
It was on this event that I knew something was amiss. This is not typical of Brandi Johnson. She's one of the most powerful tumblers in the world. She's usually 2 feet higher on this pass. I knew that her ankles were hurting her. She had problems with her kidney over the past week. And you could really see that she just was not ready for this competition at all. And I could see it in her eyes. She was not up for it.
And her final tumbling pass, another fall.
Again, she just ran out of steam here at the last of her floor exercise. You could just see she's not in condition.
So uncharacteristic. An 8.175 for Brandi Johnson as she is consoled by her teammates. We will not have a back-to-back winner. We had a chance to talk with Brandi.
Yeah, I just had some kidney problems, and I had a little bit of surgery like a week and a half ago, so.
The vault is usually your strongest area. Today you started out, it was not a great start, somewhat of a weak start by your standards. Did you feel at that time that it was going to be a rough day?
Well, I knew that I hadn't had enough training for this meet, but I just had to do the best I could and just pull everything from within inside me, and I guess it just wasn't enough.
Due to those injuries, Brandi Johnson is going to take time off now as she's returned to the gym of Kevin and Rita Brown in Altamont Spring, Florida. She's going to rehabilitate. She will not be back into active competition until the national championships to defend her title in June. The last 2-time winner of the American Cup, Christy Phillips in 86 and 87. Phoebe Mills, who won a bronze in the 88 Olympics, only won 1 year at the American Cup. Bella Caroli coached both.
It's always when somebody is losing the throne and the king is leaving the throne, it's sad. But That's the life. But we are just as excited when the young ones are coming in and taking that throne. And we have new idols. That's why gymnastics is so alive. And I believe, you know, the gymnastics is that's why it's so spectacular, because always you are having these new, great, explosive, spectacular young individuals coming in, making a big splash, just delighting us. Then daytime comes too, and another one is coming. And I believe that's just the big wheel is turning around, the big wheel of the time, and they're just eating up certain old-timers and giving place for the new-timers.
Brandy has done more in a year and a half than many gymnasts do in their entire career, including a 7th-place all-around finish at the World Championship and a silver medal.
Sandy Woolsey now, second after the first 2 events in the women's division, moving on to the balance beam.
Sandy has been incredibly consistent over the past year of competition. She's not missed a single event so far. Tick-tock. An original move down to the balance beam, which is a requirement. The gymnast must perform close to the balance beam at some point in the routine.
Balance beam, 4 feet off the ground, only 4 inches wide.
And believe me, at times it seems a lot thinner than that. Setting up for her most difficult pass, 2 back handsprings to a layout pike somersault, just dead center on the beam. This is the type of performance you want at this point in the competition. Every 1/10 of a point counts. You don't want to give up any slight deductions. She needs a little more amplitude on those leaps. Should show a 180-degree split in all of those leaps. Those are just very, very slight deductions here and there. Preparing for her dismount. She does a very difficult round-off back handspring. Oh, she missed her foot. She wasn't even able to do her normal dismount, which is a double pike dismount.
Good try. Good try. Good try. What happened? A little off on one side? Okay. It was nice and fast. It just, you know, when you miss that foot like that, you made the right decision. You can't really keep going when that happens, so it's all right. Good job.
I can't believe I did that.
Well, I think it was a very smart decision, and you're still alive and going on the floor, so...
You could hear her coach talking about a decision to be made. The decision was whether to throw the double back or not. And you could see she misses her foot. The decision was made for her. She couldn't do 2 rotations, so she had to change her dismount and only do a single rotation. It's a major deduction for Sandy.
I'll wait for Sandy Woolsey's score before moving back to that event.
So a breakdown for the young lady from Tempe, Arizona, as the judges confer. We'll take a break. Be right back after these messages from your local station. Balance beam at 9.337. And we move back to the men's side now, and Alexander Kolyavanov, who's tied for the lead after the first 4 events.
And he is really doing a fantastic job getting right back on track with that vault. But if he has a weak event, I would have to say it's here on the parallel bars. He does some very nice work, a beautiful giant with a half, and that's a Stutz front. But he really has a few form breaks throughout the routine, and there's another mistake, a little bit of a hand placement. It works well, but maybe not as well as some of the other events. There's a beautiful Stutz to a handstand. And his dismount, a double pike, and a good landing. But really didn't knock your socks off with that routine.
Sounds like you don't think he took many chances.
Well, I think he really is playing it safe at this point. He wants to come home with a major international championships. And that's a routine that will do it for him.
Kolyavanov scoring a 9-7 on the parallel bars to retain his position atop the men's division. We get ready to move back over to the women's side. Kim Zmeskal, the leader from the United States after the first 2 events, to the balance beam.
At this point, Kim is out competing Natalia Kalinina by virtue of sticking landings where the Soviet is having trouble. And it was on this event in the preliminaries that I was very pleased to see her come back from a fall on the uneven bars, regaining composure and concentration, and she just did an excellent job coming back on this event. It was one of the special requirements on balance beam, a front handspring through to right into a jump. They're trying to emphasize combinations. gymnastics. Excellent.
Great
Two
form.
layout steps.